And we're off to the races. Hey guys, how you doing? It's Jim Francis Mesa, almost famous, Juicy Divas, Confessions of a Limo Driver. Tonight, it is my honor and privilege to have a wonderful cat. This cool dude, man, he is out of this world. You know him from Coldwater. He's done the movie Coldwater, such a hit film. 2013, you haven't caught it yet, man, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff. He's going to tell us all about it. He's been on ABC, Disney channels, done a slew of commercials. Let's hit the stratosphere. Why don't we welcome him in? The guy, the myth, the legend, Mr. Martyn Hale.
Hello, everyone.
Yo, bro, hi. What's up, man? Let's go straight to orbit. Talk shop. Dude, with this whole incoming president and stuff, you know, a lot of craziness, right? I mean, like how TikTok went off the air, it went black, it went dark, bro. What do you think about them apples?
TikTok's back. I just got the notification a couple hours ago.
And you got a presence on there, bro. If I may add, you have quite a presence on there. You do videos on the daily. You drop cool content, and you're an influencer, and you're always at the gym, and you influence people in so many ways. You impact folks. I'm super thrilled to have you on the show. Welcome aboard the show, man.
Thank you, Jim. I'm very grateful to be on the show, and I thank my lucky stars.
Amen to that, bro. And so, you know, real quick, I want to extend my gratitude to the public that's been with me from the beginning. I've been doing it used to be that I only did audio only. So I've come a long way. I didn't want to show this $1 billion face. so I would do like audio only, and get this, bro. It was always because I started during the pandemic. So my show was literally Juicy Divas, Confessions of a Limo Driver. I started out of a closet, bro, like the closet. And it was insane, dude, because I was sweating profusely. There was so many people are like, I once had an actress, like, true story. I'm not gonna like name drop here, but bro, check it out, Marty. Like, is that okay if I call you Marty? Because I know a lot of people, a bird out there told me that you go by Marty at times. Hey, Jim, are you sure you're like not kidnapped or you know someone doesn't have you? You know, gagged somewhere because you sound muffled. I'm like, no, it's this whole tricky thing because there's so many people online. But little does she know that I was like in a small compartment of my house. I wanted to just talk a little bit about rebuilding. You know, where were you when the fires broke out, bro? Real quick.
I was actually leaving LA Fitness, and when I left, the clouds were filled with smoke from the fire, and it was getting closer to where I was at. I was stuck in traffic. So I called a few of my friends to see what I should do, and I just started to pay attention and really had to use some awareness to figure out what was best for me to do. But overall, I was safe, thank God, and I just pray for everyone who lost their homes and pray for the people that did pass away from the fires. May they rest in peace. And
Amen.
It's a horrible, tragic event that happened, and I'm just glad that the firefighters and the police officers, everyone who took the time to leave their homes and families to help save ours, I can't express enough thanks to those people, men and women, and I'm just glad that the fires are slowly being put out, almost out right now.
Yeah, almost subsided, bro. You're absolutely right about that. And let's not forget Altadena, all the people, because a lot of emphasis and focus was because we are in like capital, the Mecca of Hollywood, or it used to be. Touch on that later. So a lot of people have no idea that Altadena was impacted badly. I mean, we're talking about rubble down to zero, man. There's like a lot of people that are hurting right now. My heart goes out to them, and restaurants in particular who have lost their home, but now they have to deal with the grim reality of perhaps even losing their business, their restaurant. So I would tell people like we ought to band together and support these local restaurants in the Altadena area. You know, but the people are just reeling from such a tragic, unprecedented time, as people would say in the words of the mayor. We haven't had ever like these wicked winds blowing as hard as they did. It seems like it's crazy, bro. Like it just seems like we kind of started the year off like guns blazing, dude, literally, and it sets the tone for the rest of the year. But I don't want to like cast just that negative dark cloud and be the gloom and doom. So let's jump right into you know, your story, bro. You're like from Michigan, correct? Like
Yeah.
you hailed from Michigan, Martyn Hale. No pun. I like
Yeah. I'm
this.
from Alma. I'm from Alma, Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
a small town in the Midwest, and I lived with my grandparents most of my life. I have a younger brother named Malcolm, and I played sports when I was younger because that was my escape from the world and from people.
Right.
I got picked on a lot in school, so I fell in love with playing sports, and then I ended up taking an acting class when I was a senior in high school, and that's when I fell in love with acting. And
And what did you have like a supportive family? Were your family supportive of your decision to go for broke as an actor? Just go like 150% all in?
my family was very supportive. My grandparents supported me all since day one. My mom is my biggest fan, and I've never met my dad, so I don't know what he's up to.
Right.
And I kind of took it for granted early on in my career, and I made a lot of mistakes, trial failure through. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes that if I could go back and change it, I probably would.
Wow. Let's talk about some of this. So, you were like in a dark place. You were suddenly you're on top of the world. You still are the same. You look exactly like you did before. Like you must get recognized everywhere you go. But you went through a dark period of time. Explain to me, when does a recreational drug or an alcohol problem go from? Because I don't know what was kind of like your poison, or better yet, what kind of drugs did you dabble with, um, and how did things spiral out of control? Like we went from a party to dude, I am now codependent on this stuff, and it's not funny anymore.
It started with alcohol. That was my drug of choice from the very beginning. And I started to drink every day, and I just I couldn't stop, and I didn't know how to stop. And then eventually I got into marijuana and cocaine,
Wow.
and I just burnt my life to the ground and lost everything. And everything I did, I was under the influence of alcohol. I was going to auditions for Disney drunk,
Wow.
and I just was going out in public intoxicated. I'd put the alcohol in my water bottle, and I would go and play basketball, and instead of drinking Gatorade on the water breaks, I would drink vodka.
So
I'd
not
go to
having
church. I
kidding.
went to church, and I would drink. I just everywhere I went, I was drunk or drinking.
So you just mentioned church, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, before you continue on with this testimony. So you did have like a come to Jesus moment, like quite literally. Like you had a relation, you started a relationship with Jesus Christ that helped you kind of turn the corner, or how did it all get better when you bottomed out?
When I was sitting in jail, I prayed
Wow.
and I asked God for help. And when I got out of jail, I went back to church and I got sober. And I'm about to hit 5 years sober in February. I'm currently 4 years, 11 months sober.
Praise God, man.
And I have a purpose in my life today. And the only reason I've made it this far and that I'm still alive is because of God and
Praise the Lord.
the mercy and grace that He's given me. And it's a second chance at life. So I wake up early. I take care of the small tasks that are needed as a responsibility for myself and other people watching me to do the right thing and to be a good example. And I pray every day. I wake up early and I go right to God. And I thank Him for keeping me sober at the end of the day. And my God is a loving God.
Man.
He gives second chances and He's always watching over me and keeping me safe. So I have to have faith and hope and trust in Him that through Him all things are possible.
Yay, man, that. I'm here like, I feel like we're having church here, bro. And you're actually like quite literally preaching to the choir. Um, I I used to be a smoker, like pretty avid uh gun ho smoker, like almost scrounging for change in between your mattress or in your car seat in the vehicle, like to just round up a couple of quarters, muster up some confidence to go into a liquor store and like buy a couple of cigarettes when I was kind of down on my luck, maybe if I was in my like early 20s and stuff. And you know, I remember like challenging God stupidly, if I may add. Um, you know, like I don't know. I'm gonna try this on my own, like, and I tried it on my own, my own volition to just quit cold turkey, as some other folks before me and folks that I knew, my counterparts from work or whatnot, would like say, "Hey, I quit cold turkey. I think you could too, Jimmy." And I tried, but every time I tried, I almost immediately had a sense of like, oh my God, I had a deep affinity for tobacco, for the smell and the taste. I couldn't stop it. My mouth would get watery, and just quite insanely, I tried every day for 2 days, bro. And that was the length of it, the span of 2 days, because it felt that long for me not to be without my guilty pleasure of smoking cigarettes.
That was
Uh,
the first thing I used to do when I would wake up in the morning is go and smoke a cigarette with coffee.
yeah, right.
And
And then, but get this. Conversely, I also tried. All right, God, because I failed miserably. I want you to take this vice away from me, like remove it in such a way where I don't ever have to want to crave this cigarette, these cancer sticks. And so sure enough, like quite, it was impressive. And for me, it was a wake-up call that, I was pretty much like by the skin of my teeth, barely gonna survive without another day without a cigarette, and so the following day, I wake up, bro, and I have no desire to have a cigarette in my mouth. And
that's
I
amazing.
give God the glory for that, because I've known a lot of people, but I really rarely ever talk about this testimonial because I don't have, unfortunately, I don't talk to that many people that have experienced this almost outer a body experience, you know, that you feel when God is in control and he takes the wheel. As I forget who the singer is, has that song, Jesus Take the Wheel. And so there has been like moments where I've stopped, but in the past for 7 or 8 years, and then I picked it up by, you know, like sheer boredom or whatever. And I just started up a little and then I quit, but I'm able to. That's the difference. I'm able to. It's insane, dude, how God has blessed me in that area, just to name one area. But let's get back to you. I just wanted to share my testimony real quick while we're at it. And then what happened? And then you asked God to help you, and
And I got the help from people coming into my life at the right time, which I'm so grateful for, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for those people that helped pave the way for me to stay on the right track. And unfortunately, last year, one of those people who was my mentor, he passed away.
sorry to
And,
hear, bro. My condolences, bro.
and my grandpa passed away in July, and that's something that really motivates me to continue to stay sober. Is that's what they would want for me, is to stay sober. And that's what my grandpa said before he passed away. When I was holding his hand, he said he was proud of me for staying sober, and he wants me to really stay sober, because if
Mm-hmm.
I can stay sober, I have a second chance at life.
And at getting back to
And
working as what you've been doing, right?
right, right.
What you've been working on a project lately? Why don't we plug that in, bro? I saw you with Eric Roberts somewhere in one of
Yeah,
your streams. Go ahead.
yeah. I was filming a movie with Eric Roberts. It stars Danny Trejo and Jeff Wittek. He's signed with William Morris
Cool, bro.
Talent Agency, and I just had a cameo appearance, but then we stopped filming for the fires.
Right.
And I have a lot of good projects coming ahead this year, but unfortunately, I don't want to talk too much about them, because
Yeah,
I
you
have
can.
signed some NDAs.
Right. Don't
And
do it, bro.
once once I'm able to share and talk about it, I will be posting about it and trying to promote it as best as I can.
Yeah. You'll have to come into the studio of Almost Famous to promote that in person in Tarzana. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm
Up for
okay
that?
with yeah, that'd be cool.
I would love to have you. I mean, like, just, you know, the passion you have about acting. And I was watching some of your stuff, your reels, and your IMDb. You have quite a bit of credits, and some of the stuff is fascinating. Like, who was that? Who did you study in theater first? Was that like the preamble to everything else you've done, like the precursor of sorts? Is it theater for you as well?
In high school, I never did theater until I took the acting class my senior year. I did
Okay,
improv classes, and then when I moved out to Toluca Lake in 2010, I got into an acting class on Thursday nights, coached by a famous actor named Gary Imhoff.
okay,
And we would have acting classes every Thursday. And then that's really where I was doing my training at. And then unfortunately, I started drinking more, and I couldn't afford acting class any longer. So
yeah.
I just stopped going to acting class, and that's sort of where I fell off. And
Well, that was like you would say circa 2011 ish.
it was 2014, because 2013 I worked quite a bit as an actor, and I was paying my bills as an actor. and that's when I started drinking more because I started to get more fame on social media before social media was popular.
Wow, that's cool, man.
My numbers on social media were blowing up. I was going viral on TikTok in the beginning,
You're a, you're a
and
splash, dude.
my Instagram was getting a lot of popularity before it got hacked in 2022,
Oh no.
and I couldn't handle the pressure of the fame and the criticism. People were saying good things, calling me famous on the one side, and then the other side was saying I'm a horrible actor. So I was getting
Right.
both
The
both sides
duality
of
of
the coin,
Hollywood. That's what you get, right? Like
and I
people that
didn't know how to handle it. So I just started drinking and drugging more, and then
that
it ruined my life.
that happens to be the case for a lot of young actors such as yourself. Where you get to a point of level of fame where it's almost uncomfortable like to go anywhere, and then people start singling you out, and those that like they say misery loves company. So like folks that see you rising don't like you to rise, and they'll try to like say bring you down, kind of like yeah, whatever, dude. I mean, you're not such a hot shot as you think you are. And they try to make your life, give you grief and shit.
Yeah, and I felt that pretty heavily. So I couldn't handle the pressure, and somehow I'm still alive today to have another chance. And I never became an actor to become famous or any of that. I
Right.
never asked for that. I just fell in love with acting and being in character. And that's the only reason why I came back to Hollywood, was because it's the only thing I ever knew. I never had a plan B or a backup plan. I never went to college. And
Wow.
there's really nothing else for me to do in this world other than be an actor.
I
So
like
it's
that you're
live and
go
die.
ahead.
I'm a live and die doing it.
I love that. No plan B, which is a great segue to folks that want to get in this business. Like you just finished saying two cautionary tales of some folks that get in because they want to be famous. There's so many other avenues to get famous, such as social media, TikTok, Lemonade. I just plug that in. Maybe they'll give me some money, right? But so many more ways to get famous that quite frankly, there's no need to go about it that way. You ought to be in love with the craft. That's number one, right? Be in love with the craft. Do it for the right reasons. And number two, not have a plan B, right? That
Right.
not to be a plan B in your life. Um, I'm objectively bad at a lot of stuff. I'll say, um, I'm going to do this 150%, and then I get pulled in one direction because of my ADHD. I need to learn to focus more. Maybe I would have been a box office hit probably now, or maybe not. But um, uh, I really love your passion, yours sincerely, man, bottom wholehearted passion you have and your drive, and it's very palpable. Like I really think that I could feel that, like you're really all about it, and I love that. Just want you to know. Um, how when you're walking those red carpets, because I hear you love walking red carpets, so and taking photos and stuff. How did you handle that? Like initially, how did you prepare to go out on the red carpet? How did you feel? Like, is there a thing you just go for it? It's showtime. Do you just kind of like turn on when you're supposed to just go out and roll out on the red carpet, or how do you go about?
I guess it's kind of in my. It's hard to explain, but it's just something that I've always dreamed of. And then when I'm in that moment about to do it, I just realize how fortunate I am, because there's millions of people out there that would want to be in my shoes at that moment, and
Yeah,
at but they don't know the steps that I had to take to get me to that point, and the miles that I had to travel, and the loneliness that I had to go through So it's not all glitz and glamour, and that's something that I'm taking into this year is nowadays there's red carpets in every city. People are just making their own red
That's
carpet
so
event.
true.
And so this year for me it's about being in action, being in more movies, getting more footage for my reel, hopefully doing more commercials, any type of thing that will help get my work viewed
Right.
by people so they can be inspired and say maybe it's possible for them if I can do it. So that's really what I want to
150%,
do
bro.
this year. I've already turned down at least 10 or 12 red carpet events just within the last few months because one, I'm working a 9 to 5 and I'm also not interested in the red carpets right now. I
That's so
want
cool, man.
to
So you're
work.
working. You went back to the workforce, which is really cool because lately a lot of actors have been going back to the workforce, the 9 to 5, so to speak, because a lot of our jobs have fleed, and now with the fire catastrophe of biblical proportions, no one's been able to. A lot of people are without work, and it's not easy to just start up on a movie. You got to relocate. Some folks have moved to other places where there are incentives. Do you think Trump will usher a new era of hope, perhaps like a beacon of light? Maybe the new administration will move the needle in the way of saving Hollywood and bringing it back because other states have given way more incentives like tax breaks. I'm thinking like and then this is just me, in my head, hypothetically speaking, I see like, wouldn't it be crazy if, I mean, one can only dream that Trump would come in and perhaps have these um, um, probably pressure or talk to the governor and maybe give Hollywood a break. Like literally, we need a break here. And there's been the unions, that I mean, you have the strikes that put a lot of people, out of work, and now the fires. You know what I'm saying? So we might be seeing a whole. I mean, it's never going to come back the same way, Hollywood.
It's
But
not. It's
what?
changed because today the cell phone is the new television, and the television is now the newspaper. Everyone's
Wow,
on their phones, and social media is really taking over the new world that we're living in. And
crazy.
social media right now is free to post. In the future, I don't know if they're going to start charging just to have the apps,
Hmm.
but for right now, it's free to post. It's free marketing for your brand. And really, a lot of celebrities I've talked to who are well known, popular, and a couple A-listers, they've kind of shared to me that some of them are upset with the way social media and cell phones are taking over because you have influencers who are making more money than the movie stars and video gamers making more money than movie stars, and they're quite frankly more famous than movie stars in today's society because of how many followers you have on social media. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It matters if you're making an impact in other people's lives. Because trash is there. I don't know how to explain it, but the faker you are, the bigger your circle is. So social media is like a bunch of people doing fucked up shit and saying whatever they want, and
Hmm.
then just negativity breeds attention. So I honestly try to post the
Positive.
light, yeah, because a lot of influencers are posting on YouTube. I don't really pay attention to influencers,
Mhm.
and I guess it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just I don't really care for it.
So what you're saying is, like, you're saying,
Like we're living in a false reality where people
right.
going out in public and just recording themselves just for
I
fucking
hear
like
you.
views and shit, and it's
Hmm.
fucked up. There
Yeah,
needs to be laws and rules, and you can't record people in public. It's messed up. Times have
yeah,
changed,
you're right. It's
and
a refreshing to see someone that thinks like you, by the way. So
it's
that's
almost
cool. I'm
like
glad you said it.
going to see a movie in the movie theater isn't as important as it once was back in the day, because people would rather sit on their phones and just scroll all day and all that.
And add to that the moral compass of where we're at, now. Um, we are
Yeah,
changing as a society. We are, and a lot of immorality and crazy things that are shown on TikTok and all these other platforms, which I use it personally sometimes to create like funny and just keep my presence, if you will, make it known to a point, and I use it as a tool to advance and enhance some of the stuff that I do, comedic wise. But I just think that you're right. A lot of people use it just to amass a great amount of people, and they'll go to lengths like stupidity at its finest, but to try to impress folks and get more followers. And there's no
and
real
the
creativity. There's no
more
creativity.
the
in
more
that.
stupid the video is, and the more faker it is, the more views it gets and the more attention it gets, because people are drawn to that shit.
I agree, 100%. Um, Let me ask you. Go ahead.
And then when you're real and you curse and you're speaking from your heart and you post it on social media, or you post one time in a bad moment, you could get blacklisted or blocked, because
Yeah,
we're living in a soft generation with a bunch of pussies.
yeah, yeah, 100%, dude. I like, you know, I think that it merits for me to say this, but you're right. It's interesting to see what will happen in the next year or so, and it's scary, but really well put. Like you said, like our TVs are like newspapers of old, things that are obsolete, things that um, are archaic almost. And we're ushering a new breathing air to a whole new society where it's right at the fingertips of our hands, except that what we use, how we use that, and how impactful it is for the next generation. Because you also have to remember, like you just finished saying, I was watching a documentary the other day, real quick, with my wife, and something jumped out at me where um it's insane how there'll be people that will do stuff that are like neck breaking speed to literally like to try to amass wealth. So it's as though they'll film themselves in the Chargers going barreling down a highway at 100 top speed, 150 miles per hour, going really fast, and then getting chased or whatnot, and then spinning out and doing all that tail spinning and stuff, and in the streets, which is so selfish and very irresponsible. I think, speaking of responsibility, we should hold ourselves accountable and be respectful towards one another and what we expose out there, especially how we want to be portrayed. I think a lot of people are classless now. I'll dare say that in what they film. So it's so refreshing, man, to have your point of view, Marty, because you're an actor, you're a solid cat. I mean, you've gone through it, man. You've been in the thick of it, and you're back and you're doing some cool stuff, man. And I tip my hat off to you, dude. Like, it's really
Thank,
commendable what you're doing, bro.
thank you, Jim.
Hmm.
Yeah, my agent, I should probably apologize to everyone for cursing. My
Oh, it's
agent
all good.
probably won't be happy about that, and
No, it's all good. This is
sometimes I
this
get
is this
I
is a
get
podcast,
heated.
bro. This is a heart to heart we're having here. It's no problem at all.
All right,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's yeah, just always keep your head up and smile.
love that.
Can't let the world change your smile. They tried
Right.
to change mine.
Yeah. And it's contagious, right? If you smile, you might just make somebody else's day that's feeling crummy or has had a pretty low day, like low energy, and you just pick them right up with a smile or a kind word. You could
Yep.
quite literally change the course of the person's day, right? So, any final thoughts? How do we reach you? Like, how do we? I know I can reach you, but how do your fans reach you? Where can they find you?
Honestly,
Media
just
wise,
on
your handles, your
just on
Insta.
social media where I'm verified.
Cool.
But I'm always, I don't know. Some honestly, I like to be kind of the black sheep of the world, where I would rather be alone, left alone, because I've been brokenhearted so much to where it's hard for me to trust people.
Mhm.
And I have a small circle of friends, and all I want to do with the time that I have left on earth is to work and help other people.
I like
But
that.
at the same time, it's hard for me to just to want to be seen. But at the same time, you can find me. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm verified on all the platforms except for TikTok, and it's just my name.
Awesome, bro. I'm very, very delighted and grateful for the opportunity so graciously coming on my show, Juicy Divas, Confessions of a Limo Driver slash Almost Famous. I hope to have you in the studio in person soon enough so we could really peel back and all the layers and deep dive, you know what I mean, and into some cool stuff. And then maybe you could just give us an update of the projects down the pike. Okay.
Okay,
So
thanks.
no further ado, hey man, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you all your people out there that are supporting the channel. Keep watching Juicy Divas Confession of a Limo Driver. Subscribe.
You either love me or hate me, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna watch me because I'm the greatest.
With that, guys, that's my show. Thank you. Till next time.
Thanks, Jim.
Peace. Thank you, bro. It's good seeing you, Marty. Let's talk soon. Let's collab.
All
All
right, thanks.
right. All right, brother.